Welcome to Feminine Health and Wellness, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a few days, or probably about a week, almost 2 weeks, guys, since I've been on here. But welcome back to Tea Time After Dark. We're going to get started. I am feeling a bit under the weather today, just a little bit. I am going to be drinking mullein tea. If you know the benefits of mullein tea, it's going to help with upper respiratory antiviral infections and different things like that. My sinuses are a little congested tonight, but I'm going to move forward with the tea time after dark. Um, I am going to be burning. The name of this particular candle is Love Rose Water and Strawberry Scented Candle. I have burned it, but it does smell amazing. I'm going to be lighting that tonight. That's what I'm going to be lighting tonight. Rose water. I'm sorry, Love Rose Water and Strawberry Scented Candle. And it smells really, really good. It has that calming effect. As you know, I love, love, love. Let's see, that's not gonna work. Let me kind of just my camera a little bit, guys. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. I think that's a little better. So, if you have, let's see here. All right. All right. So, I think I got adjusted. That's my candle. Um, I'm going to be drinking out of my Hershey's mug tonight. It says, I'm just here for the chocolate. Yes, I am here for the chocolate. So, mullein tea is going to be what I'm drinking. So, sit back and relax, guys. We're going to be talking about one of those heavy topics. We're just going to be chatting back and forth. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me after I do this video or doing the video. I will be absolutely happy to answer any questions. So, standards and self-worth. This is a new year, 2026. Your standards and your self-worth, knowing what we deserve and refusing to settle. That's a deep topic. Knowing what you deserve and refusing to settle. That is a part of staying in your feminine energy. We're going to talk about it. Hopefully, I won't hold you guys long, but I'm going to be on here talking about a heavy and hot topic: standards and self worth. Are you worthy? You have to ask yourself, these questions with this day and time. Are you worthy? If you don't feel like you're worthy, I'm going to show you how to get there. I'm going to tell you how to get there. Okay, so we're gonna start off with my tea first. Like I said, I am feeling a little congested with my sinuses and everything, guys. But I'm going to kind of nip that in the bud. Gonna nip it in the bud right quick. Okay, with my herbs. So on this channel, we talk about body, mind, and soul. Your body, your mind, and your soul. Feminine health and wellness is about healing, reflecting, rejuvenating your mind, body, and soul. That is what it's about. Not just from a physical, but physical, mental, and a spiritual perspective. So I'm talking about the whole entire person, the whole being, not just talking about physically. I know I talk about on this channel how to eat healthy, how to stay, healthy, how to stay fit, how to be mindful. I talk about all of that, guys. But everything. I want to make sure that I am talking about as it as a whole, your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to call it. We're going to in 2026, we're going to cover it all. We're going to cover it all by body, mind, and soul. So give me 1 second here. Now, let me know what you're drinking. Get ready. So, hi, beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Tea Time After Dark. We are sipping, we are reflecting, we heal. Tea Time After Dark, where we sip, reflect, and we heal. Okay? So, grab your tea, your coffee, or whatever you're bringing, and get comfortable and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, today's conversation is not one that hits home for a lot of women. Um, it is about standards, self worth, especially when it comes to men. It isn't about bashing anyone or about being bitter. This is about clarity and growth, and choosing yourself without being apologetic. Choosing you, and we're going to talk about this. So we're um, we're going to talk about different ways that we can do that. So before we begin, let me say, you are not too much. Your standards are not a problem. Okay. And wanting consistency, effort, and emotional safety does not make you um, difficult. It doesn't make you difficult at all. It only just shows that you know what you want, that you want. You have healed. You have grown in your journey. And sometimes the issue isn't always our standards that are too high. It's that we've been taught to question our worth. We have been taught to question our worth. And so that false belief, questioning whether you deserve something, want something, need something, just question your overall worth. Are you worthy? Are you, good enough for that? We as women, we sometimes, not all women, battle with that. Am I worthy? Am I deserving of that? And we're gonna in 2026, we're gonna get away from that. You are worthy. You are worthy. um you are worthy of having, you know um the things that you desire in a relationship, outside a relationship, a job, or wherever, wherever you are. Okay. And so, what is self-worth? That's a question. But we're gonna kind of think about that. What is self-worth to you? Kind of put that in the comments and let me know what does self-worth mean to you? Okay. And then these are a few questions before we get started, guys, that I would like for you guys to kind of ask yourself. These are questions, self reflecting questions that you need to kind of sit with yourself and ask yourself, well, what does self-worth mean to you today? Not the theory and practice, but what does it mean to you? Another question you should kind of sit back and ask yourself, um, how have your standards changed as you've grown, healed, and matured? Because we are all on a healing, growing, maturing um, path or journey, as I would say. Um, where did you first learn what love should look like, and how has that belief shifted? So these are some questions that you need to kind of sit with and ask yourself daily. Here's another good one. How do you personally measure your wealth or your worth? I'm sorry, your worth. And is that measurement healthy? Okay. Is it healthy? Because I know sometimes some women, not all, can ask for a lot, and it could be unhealthy or could be asking for things because they have not fully healed or too much of something or over the top with certain things. So, um, how do you measure your worth? Another one, in what way have you shrunk yourself to keep someone else comfortable? That is a deep one. That is a deep one. So I'm gonna come back to some of these questions, but we're gonna get to down to the nitty-gritty of, what is self-worth. I just wanted you guys to kind of reflect and think, about what does that mean to you. But I just also wanted to give some self-reflecting questions that you can ask yourself on your growth and your mature in your self-worth journey, I should say. Um, so what is self-worth? Self-worth isn't just self-love quotes or affirmations. Self-worth show up in what you allow and what you tolerate and what you walk away from. That's I'm gonna say that again. Oh, hold on one second, guys. Let me get some tissue. Sorry about that. So I touched my sinuses are acting up. So bear with me, guys. So self-worth show up in what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you walk away from. I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Do I feel chosen or just convenient? Mm, that's a deep question. That is a deep question. Do I feel chosen or just convenient? Am I being poured into or just pouring out? Am I honored in public and in private? Okay. Because real self-worth doesn't beg for effort. It recognizes um it recognizes when effort is missing. Okay. And respond accordingly. Okay. So when you are talking about self worth and feeling chosen versus or convenient or whichever one, you have to ask that. And then if you are being chosen or just convenient for someone, that is you are allowing that person to basically it is not self-worth. You are allowing that person to cross your boundaries or your standards. Excuse me, I should say. And so there's a big difference between compromising and settling. Okay. So compromising and settling. So we got to also understand the difference between that as well. And so these are like self reflecting questions. I'm not here to make anyone feel, bad or whatever, but I want you to learn your self-worth. Are you worthy of whatever it is that you are desiring? I want you to build that self confidence and grow um, on your physical mental health journey. I want you to grow and I want you to learn to honor your self worth within yourself. Okay, so these are some of the questions that you ask yourself. So, am I honored in private and in public? Um, some people like to be honored in public, some people like to be honored in private, but are you being honored is the question in a healthy way? Are you being honored the way you would like to? Okay. And sometimes, we're talking about standards and self worth. So when you are going in any type of relationship, it could be um, any kind, female, male, male, female, woman, woman, man. You're going to set your standards. You're going to have standards in any type of relationship that you have. You're going to set those standards, and that person is going to be honoring whatever it is that your standards are. But if they are not honoring your standards, you are not living in your self worth, I should say. You are not worthy of yourself. You're not, when people are continuing to cross the boundaries that you have set forth. So you have to be very, very careful in that situation. So now, compromising. There's a big difference between compromising and settling. Compromising says we meet each other halfway. Now, that's to me, that is a tough one because some people are very selfish and self centered. They do not want to meet you halfway. They want everything for themselves, self centered, self centered. That's a whole nother topic. But just know that whoever you are in a relationship with, a friendship with, that you are meeting each other halfway. Okay, those are the standards versus settling. So, settling says that I accept less so I won't be alone. You are lowering your standards, you are lowering your self-worth when you say, "Oh, I'm just going to deal with that person. I'm just going to do that because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this alone. I don't want to be alone. I feel lonely. Whatever that I feels is to you." So stop doing that. Learn how to reiterate your boundaries, your standards, and let that person know when they are breaking any standards that you have set forth. And so I'm going to go back to where we said before at the beginning. We talked about, let's see here. I'm looking at my notes here. Okay. So where we made a statement and we said, um, self worth shows up in what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you walk away from. Self worth shows up in what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you walk away from. So sometimes I'm going back to that particular quote because sometimes we have to walk away if that person is not meeting our standards or expectations that we desire, then sometimes you have to walk away because they're going to continue to break your standards or your boundaries or whatever it is that you want, however you want to call it. They're going to continue. So sometimes you're going to have to walk away. So settling, I accept less so I won't be alone. Let's be honest, many of us lower our standards not because we didn't know any better, but because we are tired, tired of waiting, tired of starting over, tired of hoping. So we kind of give up. But you can't do that if you want people to respect your standards. You have to stand, you got to stand in what it is, whatever standards that you believe in. But peace is expensive, and it costs you everything that doesn't align. Your standards are not walls, they are boundaries. Your standards are not walls, they are boundaries. And boundaries protect you, they protect you. Okay. The and boundaries protect what matters most to you. What matters most to you as an individual person. So just kind of keep that in mind. Um, Standards are not walls, they're boundaries, and boundaries protect what matters to you. Okay. Okay. So next, we're going to talk about effort and consistency and respect. Effort, consistency, and respect. Making an effort, being consistent, and being respectful of yourself, and as well as the person that you are dealing with or involved with. So let's normalize this. Effort should not feel confusing. If someone values you, you won't have to guess. You won't even have a question about whether they respect you, whether they like you, or anything like that. You're gonna already know. You won't have to you won't have to beg. You won't have to beg. Okay. So when people are making an effort, if they value you, you're not gonna have to beg, you're not gonna have to guess, and or any of that. I'm sorry about that, guys. So sorry about that. So you're not gonna have to do any of that. So consistency is not perfection. It's intention. So when you're asking somebody to be consistent, it's not you're not asking them to perfect anything. You're asking them um it's intentional when you're being consistent because you have value for the person that you're dealing with. It should not be a problem where you're not asking that person to be perfectionist in anything that they do. You just asking them. It comes with the intention. If you're consistent, it comes with intention. You are intentionally showing value to the person that you are dealing with. Okay. And when words don't match actions, believe the actions every time. I'm going to say that again. When words don't match actions, believe the actions every time. Not the words, ladies, not the words. Do not listen to the words of men or women, only the actions that they show. Because love that is real doesn't leave you anxious, it brings peace. So if your anxiety is up, ladies, if you're dealing with friends, families, loved one, significant other, if that situation is not bringing you any peace, that person is not valuing your standards and respecting you, or they're not being consistent, whatever the situation is. And it is not a feeling of confusion. So if you have to guess, you feel confused, you feel like you got to beg, you feel like, um, all of that. It is not, that person is not valuing you. Effort, consistency, respect. They're not getting it. They're not getting it. So when that you have to make that decision because people are not going to make those decisions for you. You have to make the decision whether or not you keep that person in your life, in your circle, in your space, or this person is not valuing you in any kind of way. They're not respecting you. They're not being consistent. They're not making any effort, towards you. You have to make that decision, ladies. Okay, you have to make that decision. I'm gonna say this again because this is very important. Most women, we hear the words of people and we believe what they're telling us, but we some kind of way disconnect the actions of not just men, but any type of relationship that you're in, woman, man, friendship, family. We kind of disconnect actions when it comes to the actions versus words. So we believe the words of most people, but we disregard the actions of it. So when words do not match actions, believe the actions every time. Words do not count. Please, ladies, keep this in the back of your mind when you are dealing with people. Whatever their actions are, that is what you tend to believe. If they are being consistent, they're going to show it. Those are actions behind being consistent. If they are being respectful, they are going to do respectful things. They're not going to disrespect you in any kind of way. It's all actions, all actions. If they're making an effort. They are doing something to show you that they care, to show you that they love, respect you. They're showing consistency. They're showing respect. So just keep in mind, if they're not doing those action words, they are do not believe the words that they say. Just saying. It's a sad situation that you cannot believe people words sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, but their actions speak louder than words. Actions always speak louder than words. And this is a good one right here. Healing without hardening your heart. Healing without hardening your heart. Do not harden your heart. Okay? Here's the hard part. Raising your standards don't mean becoming cold. It means becoming clear on what you accept, what you don't accept, what your expectations is, what you like, what you don't like, and what do you deem disrespectful. Okay? Healing is learning how to say I deserve better without anger, without guilt, and without expectation. Okay? Don't say, you can voice whatever it is that, whatever standard that you have without being bitter, without being angry, without any guilt and expectations behind it. You can be soft and strong. You can be loving and discerning all at the same time, ladies, all at the same time. And choosing self doesn't mean you're giving up on love. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back on my notes here. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your heart when you are doing that. You're protecting yourself. Okay. So do not feel guilty about showing or telling, I should say, a person your standards and your expectations. Do not. Don't feel guilty about it. Let's see. Let me find that quote right quick, guys. Let's see. Let me find it. Let me find it. I'll find it in a minute. I'll find it in a minute. I'll go back in a minute. So we're on healing without hardening your heart. Okay, so healing is learning about how to say I deserve better without being angry, without being guilty, and without expectations, being soft about it, choosing yourself doesn't mean you're giving up on love. It means that you no longer abandon yourself for it. You do not abandon yourself for love. Okay? You do not. You do not abandon yourself for love. You do not abandon any of yourself for disrespect. You do not abandon yourself for inconsistent people in your life. You don't abandon yourself for people that are not making an effort or disrespecting you. Okay? So, your boundaries protect you no matter what. They protect you. They protect what matters to you. That is the quote that I'm trying to think of. Your boundaries and protect what matters most to you. Okay? It's not about the other person. The other person have is allowed to set standards and boundaries as well, and that is to protect what is most important, and that is most um, important to you as an individual person, or what matters to you, what's important to you, what matters to you. That is what standards and boundaries do for you. Okay. So let me go back because I want you guys, I'm going to put a few of these questions, these reflective questions inside of the description. And you can go back and while you're on this journey of setting your standards for 2026 and self worth, you can ask, these are some of the questions that you can ask yourself. So this one right here, this question right here is love, effort, and respect. How do you define effort in a relationship? And how do you know when is missing? Those are questions that you need to kind of reflect on when it comes to love. Here's another question when it comes to love. What behavior makes you feel seen, chosen, or valued? First of all, you have to, okay. So, all of these questions that when you're asking these self reflecting questions, you have to know yourself. You have to know who you are, and you have to have healed from anything, whatever it is that you have gone through, family situations, marriage situations, boyfriend and girlfriend situations, children, parent situations, all of this, everything that is under love. What actions don't match words? That's a good one. Which do you choose to believe and why? Okay. Here's another question when it comes to healing and growing. What patterns are you consistently breaking when it comes to men? How do you hold your standards without becoming bitter or closed off? That's a good one. These questions right here fall under healing and growing. And what does choosing yourself look like, even when it's uncomfortable? These are the self reflecting questions that you have to ask yourself, okay? So if you truly believe that you are worthy of healthy love, what would you stop accepting? Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. What would you stop accepting? That is an awesome question. So all of these are self-reflecting questions that you need to, dive into, ask yourself, like I said before on this channel, we are about raising our feminine energy. We are about, mind, body, and soul, healthy love, healthy eating, and a healthy lifestyle. This is what we are about here on Feminine Health and Wellness. So I just wanted to, come on here, guys, and just kind of set the tone and ask yourself, what are your standards and what is your self-worth to you? What does it mean to you? How are you healing? How are you reflecting? Okay. So I'm going to leave you with some questions, some more questions. If you truly, truly believe you are worthy of healthy love, well, should you stop accepting? Okay. So we're going to pause and we're going to reflect briefly. So let's affirm together. These are some of the affirming or affirmations that you're going to be saying to yourself daily. I honor my worth. I trust my standards. I no longer chase love. I allow it to come to me where I stand. Those are some of the, I'm going to put these affirmations as well inside of the description so you can say these daily to yourself. I honor my worth. I trust my standards. I no longer chase love. I'll allow it to meet me where I stand. Okay. So I've been on here for a little while, guys. If you have any questions, don't forget to thumb up the live. A lot of you guys watch me and you never thumb up the live. Please thumb up the live. I want to thank you for sharing this space with me tonight. If this spoke to your heart, like, comment, and subscribe with um, and share it with another woman who needs this reminder. Until next time, Tea Time After Dark, protect your peace and choose yourself. Bye for now.